How did you grow your podcast outside of just simply having 6 years of being on other people's podcasts twice a week? What takeaways do we have for the listener?
Well, definitely sharing it multiple times a week on social media every single week. That's a non-negotiable.
Go into that. How do you do that? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, like so many weeks I'll record a 1-minute promo video of what the podcast is about. And I'll say, I'll give a snippet of what the podcast is about. And then I'll say comment podcast and I'll link the episode for you. So it's doing things like that, or doing a post and talking about what they're going to get out of it, what they're going to learn. And then, saying comment podcast and I'll give you the link. Right. Because, obviously the other platforms don't love when you're linking things outside the platform. So it's better if you have them comment and then you share it back. But yeah, sharing on social media multiple times a week, every single week, non-negotiable, doing things
Can I clarify that? Mm-hmm. Is that you record a minute of a promo about an episode that you want people to know, and you post that same minute promo many times that week, or is it done a different way?
Nope, just one time. I'll post that one time, but I might post that on multiple platforms. And then I'll do a long form post giving them an overview of what they're going to get. So that's a second type of promo that we do every single week. That's just kind of overviewing what they're going to learn and inviting them to request the link. So those are 2 ways right there. The third way is emailing it out to your email list, which I did for many years. Just literally, again, what's the podcast about? What's in it for them? Why should they listen now? And give them the link to listen. So twice a week on social media, minimum. Definitely 1 email a week to the list. Going on as many podcasts each week as humanly possible. And then just making sure that you look at all the different touch points that you have with your market in terms of how you're building the brand overall and how you're marketing the brand, and making sure that the podcast is a part of every single one of those touch points.
That reminds me of a huge mistake that I made, and I won't share too much of this story right now, but I started a podcast and it wasn't a congruent message everywhere. I knew the person that I wanted to attract. Mm-hmm. I knew what I wanted them to know or do, which are 2 separate things, but I went about it completely differently. I just kind of, it was like the spaghetti at the wall, right? I just kind of tried things, added content, but my failure, and now that I've learned, because failure is good, my failure was that I was adding value to the wrong person most of the time. Essentially, is because I was adding value to many people, to very many people, and only 20% of the time was the value that I was actually putting on my podcast really for the person that I wanted to work with. And so I've felt that I've done that the wrong way. So you do a promo video that's about a minute. You do a long form post, and then you do your email list. Is there anything else you're doing to promote your podcast as on top of that?
Gosh. I mean, I'm sure there's 100 other things that the team is doing. One of the things that they quite often do is, as we get new followers on LinkedIn, on Instagram, etc., we always in the welcome messages introduce them to the podcast. So that's what I mean when I say making sure that the podcast is intertwined in every single marketing touch point of the brand. So someone's new to our Facebook group, someone's new to following us on a platform. One of the very first touch points that we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, did you know that Kelly has a podcast? This is what it's about. This is what you're going to get out of it. The episodes are 20 minutes or less. Here's a link if you want to check it out.